Welcome everybody back to A Kiss Like Yours.
Super Bowl Sunday.
What's up? What's up? It is Super Bowl Sunday. You are probably listening after the game, obviously, because this is not coming on until after the game. But
let me tell you right now, the Chiefs won.
Oh my gosh. I am so mad at you.
Why?
Okay, listen. We rock the silver and black in this house.
I understand. I noticed that before I married in. I noticed that was a bit of a requirement.
Yes. So you have been on this Patrick Mahomes bandwagon for 2 years now.
Okay.
And it's very upsetting.
Why?
Because they're in the Super Bowl and the Raiders are not.
Yes, but this is fantastic for our tickets for next season. So you should be on the Patrick Mahomes bandwagon.
I actually am rooting for Kansas City to win the game just because of that. Like, we have Raider tickets for next year, so the price of those tickets will go way up if they win the Super Bowl. So that's awesome.
If it makes you feel any better, I do feel a little bit bad because my grandma was a huge Niners fan. So I feel bad that I am rooting against them. But what can I say? I like Mahomes. Like, I'm allowed to like other players.
No, you're not.
I also have a Tim
No,
Tebow
you're not.
jersey. I don't even have a Raiders jersey, but I have a Tim Tebow jersey, and now I have a Mahomes shirt. So I will get a Raiders jersey for next season for sure. It'll happen.
For the games.
For the games.
Yeah. Okay, so then what happens if we go to the Kansas City game? What are you going to do?
I'm going to wear my Kansas City
Oh,
shirt.
my God. I can't sit next to you.
That's fine. I'll go.
You're going to go by yourself.
Go sit next to Mahomes. That's
seriously right now?
Oh, come on.
Okay, so we had this football podcast that we used to do. Well, football is over basically for the fantasy league. So We did the podcast for them. You're giving me shit on this podcast for the quote unquote the Insta hose.
Yes.
Now, so how come it's okay for you to rock some other dude's name on your shirt?
Gosh, I don't even follow him on Instagram. I need to do that. I don't even follow him on Instagram.
Okay, so I can get a Camille LeBlanc Bazinet shirt and just walk around with a Camille LeBlanc Bazinet shirt.
You have her rogue shirt, the purple unicorn.
It does not have her name though. It's just a symbol,
right? But
of her branding.
But anybody that knows that that's a symbol of her branding. Please, you tried to name your car after her.
No, I did not. You are. It is named after her.
It is not according to how I pay my bills. It's transgender then, your car.
Oh, my car's a dude?
No, your car's non-binary. Like my shirt. When I ordered it, when it came.
It's what are they called? Gender fluid now?
Yes.
I'm
wearing a gender fluid shirt today. When it came, I was like, oh man, I was so disappointed. It's kind of floppy on the sleeve.
It's if you're not watching on YouTube, it's a baseball style.
I believe are they called Raglan? I don't even know. It's like
Raglan?
It's like a baseball style shirt.
It's like a baseball undershirt kind of style.
Yeah, on the collar and sleeves, and then different color for the body. So it came, and then I reached out to where I bought it from, and they said, oh, well, even though you ordered a woman's size, they're like, all of our clothes are
unisex.
So I was like, oh, great. Now I don't even have a choice anymore.
But why would you list it as women's if it's just put unisex shirt?
Yeah, that would make it a lot easier. So anyway, here we are. Me with my non-binary shirt, cheering for the wrong team on Super Bowl Sunday. But that's okay. That's how we roll.
Whatever. I'm not worried about it.
We'll just take it.
I'm a lot more secure than that. So
you should be, because you know how much I love you.
Yeah.
So in any case, I like to cheer for him. Like I said, I don't even like him for me. He's way too young. I just think he's
wait. We're considering this?
No.
We're considering you actually having a shot at Patrick Mahomes? This is how you're talking?
No. What I'm saying is
are you kidding me right now?
Now when I
I'm sorry. He's way too young for me.
Listen, now when I see these young guys, and when I look at them, it's like, oh, that's the type of man I hope my daughters get to marry. It's just so different.
Honey,
now. I'm just mom washed.
Do you know? You see in the news with all these athletes always getting in trouble for something that they shouldn't be rolling around in, and you want our daughters to marry a professional athlete that is very exposed to
What I'm
craziness
saying is
like that.
when I hear him speak, I see the manners he has. I see the type of attitude he has. You see him come across, he seems like a very genuine person. So it's all of those things, those characteristics that I hope my daughters get in their future husbands. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, he seems like a cool kid. Let me just go there.
Yeah,
he seems like a cool kid. He's doing well, and actually, it's funny that this is kind of a baseball shirt because
really hard.
That's true, but he plays baseball too. His dad played professional baseball.
Yes, I'm aware.
So you're aware.
I'm aware.
You're aware of his waist size too, aren't you?
I am not.
What size shirt he wears
I just
and
caught a
shoes
little bit of an interview that he did with Gruden many years ago. I think before.
Oh, it's probably his quarterback.
Drafted.
Yeah, Gruden's quarterback camp or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, where he sits down and goes, through film with the quarterbacks that are coming up.
Correct.
In the draft. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So there. For those of you that can't see me, I'm sticking my tongue out at him. Anyway.
So we're definitely excited for Super Bowl just as a whole. I mean, granted, yes, my team hasn't been to the Super Bowl since I think 2001 or whatever it is, some 50 million years ago. But I know that there's always huge hype around a couple of things.
Okay.
Number one is the halftime show. Who's playing the halftime show?
Correct.
And not necessarily in this order. I'm just, spitting things out.
Mm-hmm.
The halftime show,
yes.
The commercials.
Yeah.
The commercials are always,
I can't wait.
To be honest, the commercials have been like kind of disappointing the past couple years.
I would say, I want to say for me, like at least the last 3 years, I remember them kind of just being like,
We haven't had like the Budweiser frogs, like that type of commercial where you just like after the Super Bowl has ended, you go, oh man,
they had some good ones with the little horse, right? That wanted to be the Clydesdale.
Yeah, that was cool.
They had a couple good runs with those. I saw a sneak peek on the internet this week of one with Chris Evans, John Krasinski, and that female. She's like always an Adam Sandler, Rachel Dratch.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
And then the food's always a highlight. You want to have some food. So hopefully yesterday you guys got some good food. If not, then maybe just make some YouTube videos or look at some YouTube videos about how to make some good Super Bowl food. That's my go-to now. Like, I don't know what to do, and then I just look up on YouTube and then ends up finding exactly what I need.
The world's greatest tutor, right? You can get everything you need on there.
It's crazy because now you could have you're getting this valuable information from people with like engineering, master's degree, and business degrees, and like all this other stuff. They're putting out all kinds of free content. For one, it makes it hard for up and coming YouTube people or content makers to kind of make it. But at the same time, it's awesome stuff. So the value's there. They've put in the time. They've put in the effort. They should be rewarded for that. But YouTube's amazing.
Yeah, it is. So I'm really excited that we get to start whatever you think of Sunday is, but I'm excited to close out this week
football
like on a high note and with football and fun and entertainment, because man, what a week.
I know.
From last
it was emotional
Sunday
roller coaster this week
to this Sunday, all the emotions that I'm sure everyone is just feeling
worldwide
by this tragedy that took place, and your heart just goes out to all these families, learning more about them this week and hearing their different stories and their different family dynamics. It was unbelievable. And then seeing Friday.
Yeah.
A lot of the things.
Yeah, Friday. So Friday was Kobe's, or not Kobe's, but they did a memorial. The Lakers' first game back, but Kobe, I don't know if they're actually going to do like a funeral for him or what yet. So
they are. I'm sure they are.
But I don't know if it's going to be like as public as it was for the Laker game on Friday.
Correct.
Yeah. So I would assume that like that was the public memorial for him.
Potentially.
I mean, there is thousands. If you're not from the Southern California area and you're listening right now, there is thousands of people at Staples Center just writing stuff all over the place on the floor. They put up walls for people to write.
Right.
There's people like laying flowers and balloons and and stuffed animals and just shoes.
There's murals that have been up. There's new murals that have come up, and outside a lot of people are leaving packs of Post-its so that the murals don't get written on, but that people can leave notes.
Yeah.
So just all over Southern California.
There's bands out. There's bands like just going out there and playing.
Yeah, and I saw on the news there was a coffee company that sent their coffee cart outside of one of the murals, and they were just giving away free coffee for Kobe and people that were coming out. So I think it's beautiful too that everyone's banding together and mourning in unity. You know, and that nothing crazy is going on.
We talked about during the Kobe episode of kind of the impact that he had. And how does that impact your relationship, or how does that impact your family? It's not the championships and all that stuff. It's more like from a legacy standpoint. Like,
correct.
What legacy are you leaving for your family to, make sure that they're have something set up for the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I knew we started off kind of fiery, so we're probably going to continue. This is a fiery episode.
Fireball.
Because we're going to transition to another
show.
Fireball. I can't stand Fireball.
I know.
Unless you want to pay for sponsorship, then I love Fireball. But I knew it was going to be a fiery episode.
Yes.
Because we've already started off kind of with this whole Raiders Kansas City thing. And then we're going to transition over to something that I think we wanted to talk about from a legacy standpoint.
Correct.
What happens to, and I'm sure there's a bunch of different things of examples of things that you guys are doing now. You go, light bulb here. Maybe I should, think about a couple of other things that I need to do to set up my family a little bit better. One of the things that was really hot topic in our house was life insurance.
Yes, and that had been a hot button issue before this came about.
Yeah.
Something that I had been telling you, hey, we don't have
for about a year, I think.
We don't have enough. We need to look at this a little bit more seriously. And for whatever reason, and I guess now I get to hear, because he would not tell me. He kept telling me, I'll tell you in the podcast. You were completely closed off about the idea.
I'm still completely closed.
Your answer was, you're young enough to work. And my answer was, that's not what we agreed on when we were getting married and before we had kids, on the life that we wanted for our children. So if something happened to you tomorrow, that away from us.
I don't remember agreeing specifically about life insurance on anything. I think you're just making that up.
No, what I'm saying is that when we were getting married and before we had kids, we agreed that if we were going to have kids, that I wanted to be home with them, especially when they were young.
Yes, but we didn't talk about that. That was from the concept of we were both here on this earth.
Correct. So
not.
So then I started bringing up life insurance in the event that now we have 2 young children that I am home with. So in the event that something happened to you tomorrow, I would not be able to continue that. And your answer
my
was,
position
too
was,
bad,
look,
you're young enough to work.
Yes.
And my rebuttal was, that's not what we agreed on with young kids.
That's not true. That is completely not true. Because like I'm just telling you right now, what we agreed upon was that you would stay home with the kids. That is based on both of us being here. So the fact that now you're putting in another layer, you can't go back to the agreement that we made when that wasn't a part of it.
Well, if you would just shut up and sign the life insurance policy, then
no, that's not how it works.
Then the agreement would stay in place.
That's not how it works. So here's my deal.
Oh my goodness.
My deal.
I am not crazy. You're hearing this, right? Did we agreed?
Hold on. Let me tell you my deal, because you've been waiting. So let me tell you my deal.
Yes, please.
My position was, look, if something were to happen to me, you are very capable of getting your butt to work and providing for the family. Now, with that being said, part of the reason why we have multiple streams of income, or are working towards multiple streams. That's why last time on the podcast, when I said it was my income only, that's a very dangerous way to live. That's because it's been my income only.
Correct.
However, if you are working towards something else, if granted, it's not the same level that we are right now, financially, but if you are actively working, that's where I'm saying you are covering yourself because you are actively working on multiple streams of income in the case of something happens.
Correct.
So that being said too, you are young enough to get your butt to work and to provide for the family. We got a creeper. Provide for the family if something were to happen to me. Now.
Yes. Hold on. Hold that thought. What do you need, Zozo? Okay.
Sorry.
Snack demand.
So that was my thing. You can't hold our quote unquote agreement when that particular part of me not being in the picture was not included in that agreement.
Okay, I beg to differ, but continue on. You have finally changed your mind after...
I have not changed my mind.
Oh, okay.
Here's what I did do. I signed the dotted line. That's what I did. So we ended up getting a life insurance policy. Now, the reason why I still have my view. My view is my view. But here's the reason why I signed the dotted line. It's going to cost us $80 a month. $80 a month for the next 20 years to put towards life insurance on a significant policy, right? Based off our income and all the stats that you do, you have to cover enough. So we've covered enough, and we've got a life insurance policy. Now, that equates to around $15,000 over the next 20 years. The reason why I put it there, even though I think it's not necessary, I'm hitting the...
Mm-hmm. You're so angry. You want to
I'm passionate today. The reason why is that there's probably way more things, dumber things that I've spent money on over the past 20 years from the time from now over the past 20 years back history.
Correct.
I've probably spent more money on dumber things than this. Now, the reason why I say this is kind of in that area because I don't believe in it. But that doesn't mean that you don't. So you do believe in it. And if I think it's dumb and I'm thinking, well, just sign the damn thing so that she could feel happy, then that's why I did it. Because there's no reason for me to fight anymore after going back and looking at the numbers and I see, okay, well, that's $15,000. I've spent more money in, going shooting or doing coffee runs or doing whatever, you fill in the blank, whatever your hobby is. I've spent more money, in the past 20 years in that, as opposed to you being satisfied that now you feel secure. You feel secure now, don't you?
Yes.
Now, number one thing.
I will once we hear back from underwriting.
Number one thing when women or for women is security, you guys.
Yes.
It's security. For number one thing for a man is respect. So that's why when you tell me shut up and sign the dotted line, that ain't going to fly with me. We'll deal with that after the podcast. Of the way you put it. Don't put it that way. That's disrespectful. But for women, it's security. So a man says, I want respect. That means that's most important to me. When you disrespect your man, it hurts him a lot. And it causes a reaction just how I just reacted now. A man's going to do the peacock chest and just be like, no, that ain't flying. Do not disrespect your man is number one for a woman to do. Number one for a man to do is to love your wife. And the way you love them, number one for them is how they accept love and the security that gives them.
Right.
So if they know that they're being taken care of.
And it's not a back and forth. It's not a tallying situation. But in order for the respect to go out, the security needs to be in place.
The security needs, and a lot of times, we have working moms that are making a lot of money. A lot of times the security is not about money.
Right.
You don't tie it to money. It could be emotional security. It could be physical security. It can be financial security is definitely one of them. So it's security from a principle perspective is what a woman needs. Respect from a principle perspective is what a man needs. So for me to sit here and keep fighting you over something that is not really costing me much financially, and I have spent more money probably on dumber things, then yeah, to your point, shut up and sign the dotted line. So that's why I said, I still don't believe in this, but I'm going to do it because I understand this is going to provide you security. And as soon as I sign on the dotted line, oh, guess who's prancing around the house?
Guess who's happy and safe?
Okay. Now, she fought unfair, to be honest.
How did I fight?
What happened that day? What happened that day before I said, okay, go do it? What did you do? What happened in the bedroom?
I did what every smart woman would.
We had a sesh.
I made sure he was satisfied.
We had a sesh, and then she slipped in, we should really do this life insurance thing.
But listen.
Hey,
okay.
Kudos to you. Kudos to you for using that weapon. And
ladies, come on. You know what runs the house. You know how this works. This is no surprise.
You caught me at a vulnerable moment.
This is no secret.
I was so happy. My love tank was so high.
How do we get what we want? We feed you and we
F you.
Insert the other F bomb. That's how we get what we want. But okay, we're being silly. But seriously, I did not come at you in a disrespectful tone. When after the fact,
no.
When,
I'm talking about right now, like on the podcast when you said shut up and sign it. You didn't say that. You just said it on the podcast. I was going to say
I did not come up to you and drop that on you like that. You know that I had been bringing this up to you in a conversational manner.
But you don't talk to me that way. That's why when you said it right now, I was like, who are you?
Oh, I didn't even realize I said how I said that. Oh, that's gonna be good when I watch it back. Okay. So I'm sorry then if it came out that way. But I was gonna say I didn't say that to you when we were talking. Like I was talking to you.
That's what I said. This is gonna be a fiery episode, and you were so fired up you didn't even know. You told me to shut up and sign the damn paperwork. I'm like, you don't talk to me that way.
I don't talk to you that way.
That's why I was like, who are you? And take that shirt off.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. But I did bring it up in conversation. I had been bringing it up in conversation, and we were having a serious discussion, on it after we had our bedroom session.
Yeah,
I'll say. And we did also watch a lot of YouTube videos on a money mentor that we both enjoy and both believe wisdom.
We asked questions.
Wisdom comes from. We did ask a lot of questions. We did our research. We did what we felt we were most comfortable with. That would be the most cost effective and the most beneficial for our family. So, but it did take quite a while to have that conversation with you. So your answer to me then was the fact that you decided that the money, if it wasn't going to this, it would probably go to other things.
Yeah, for instance, right? I like yesterday I went shooting. Yeah. I went shooting with a friend of mine. We dropped like $30. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you drop $30 during shooting.
And then say we went out Friday night. We went to TH.
Yeah.
We Ubered. Dropped another like $45.
That's $70 right there.
Mm-hmm.
To go watch Kobe and to go shooting. Mm-hmm. $70.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, an extra 10 and I get my wife to
sleep comfortably at night.
Yes, to quiet her mouth. Shall I say, if I may?
Quit nagging me.
To quit, yeah. To
you can say that. You don't have to. You don't have to say like stop bitching.
To lower the volume of her communication tool, if I may.
Wow.
But
that was it. It wasn't any of the YouTube videos.
It was not the YouTube videos. It was not the professionals. Like, did they make sense to me? Yes, it made sense. As far as what they were saying, the information that was given, and what I was looking for was to not get into something that is wasteful. So that's how I took it.
Okay.
I took it as the information, like, hey, ask these questions so you're not getting into something that is wasteful, even though I think the concept is wasteful, but you're not getting.
But you also applied the same principles like you did with any other insurance we carry, the medical, the car, the home.
True. True. But like those, I'm not as, I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm just not as picky on those.
For whatever reason, this one is the one that rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah, because now I am worth way more dead than I am alive, and you are this close away to poisoning me and offing me.
Oh my goodness. How many people are you going to tell? That's it. And now you have broadcasted to the whole world. I mean, he already told our insurance agents yesterday.
If something happens to me that's questionable, for those of you that didn't see that, I pointed over here this way to my left.
You stop with that. What about if something happens to me? I'm on the policy too.
Yeah, but I'll probably be gone because I'll be at work. So I
see. Well,
which is my worst. Which is actually my worst nightmare.
I'll probably be gone too.
I think about this all the.
Playing at Disney's private island.
I think about that all the time, actually, and it worries me.
What?
That's my worst nightmare. Coming home and something's wrong with the house, or something's here, and you weren't able to let me know. That it goes through my mind all the time. It's really, I need to work on that.
Aww.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's my worst nightmare too, is something happening to you. I don't want to do life without you. You're my partner.
At some point, things happen, and you just deal with it, and you move on. Just think about what's going to happen with all these families that are impacted. They don't get to stop and be like, okay, like, what do I do? What am I supposed to do now? Right. They have no choice. Hold on, my love. They have no choice but to move on and pick up the pieces and keep going.
That's true.
They don't have a choice. So I think that, if something were to happen, you would actually do the same. And you are young enough and strong enough and able enough to be able to build an asset or to create something that would give you the lifestyle that you want.
Well, and to sum up, like we were saying, situations like this just make you reevaluate and reprioritize.
Right.
And that's what we did this week. Specifically in our household, for us, we took care of some things that we needed to take care of, and we move on. I think we enjoy the time that we have together, because we know that tomorrow is never promised. So.
And if you have questions about that, you can definitely hit us up. We can provide you some resources, some great resources. Email us at akisslikeyours@gmail.com. You can comment down on YouTube. You can send us a message on social media.
Right.
There's a lot of people that aren't educated, and I'm not saying that I am I fully understand it, because I'm far from that. But it does pique my curiosity now to do a little bit more diving into the other facets and what we can do to help
grow our legacy.
Not so much the legacy, but the idea is to make your money work for you instead of you working for your money.
Correct.
So if you are completely working for your money, then, there's really not much you can do but to keep working, or else that stops. But if you have money working for you, now you're starting to tilt the scales a little bit. At some point, it's going to tilt the other way, where you no longer have to work for money, and you have all your money working for you.
Exactly.
And I think that's really, they don't teach us that in high school. They don't teach us that in college, unless you're a finance major or some type of, this. It's really dumb, because, foundationally, your general education, this stuff impacts every single family, yet nobody teaches it.
Right.
Nobody teaches it. So that's something that we have to take the ball. We have to take the responsibility.
Right. The
initiative. Thank you. And really learn about this stuff. So
yeah. So speaking of priority, you had a question.
Yeah.
That came up that you wanted to discuss.
It's pretty interesting, actually.
Let's hear it.
So the question was actually it was less of a question, but more of like a statement.
More of a topic of discussion.
A topic of discussions, and it had to do with your girlfriend or boyfriend.
Okay.
If them understanding their priority behind your career.
Okay, so
if your boyfriend or girlfriend thinks that they're priority number one, then you need to let them know that your career is priority number one, And if they can't understand that, see you later.
Ooh. So in the dating realm, did it come up a significant other said, "Oh, I should be more important than your career," or they're saying that this should just be the general
this is the general rule
for people that are dating.
Yeah, for people that are dating your boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like, hey, my career comes first, you come second.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
My career comes first, you come second.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So my thought on that is that I have to say I agree that the person, if you're dating women, you need to be smart. And I do believe that sometimes there are people in a relationship where one will give more and one will take more. But if you're dating, I believe that priority should be your faith first, then your career, then your significant other.
Ooh, I think I disagree.
Because I think when you're young and dating, you know, some people tend to get like more involved and, oh, it's about us and it's about us. And maybe the other person's like, I'm doing for me. And maybe when I reach a certain level, like I'm just passing the time with you. Like I have no interest in marrying you. I have no interest in setting up a life with you. Like, you know,
yeah,
you're just here for now.
Yeah.
And the other person might think every person they're with is like, oh, could this be in a little bit? Could this be the one?
Yeah.
You know, and I think people need to get out of that. You'll know when it's the one. You guys will talk about you wanting to build a life together, and I believe that's when things change. So I believe early on it should be your faith, it should be your career, it should be your family, and don't get too wrapped up in someone else until they have said, hey, you know, I want to be committed with you and I want to build something with you. That's when things change. I think when the ring comes on.
I don't know about when the ring comes on. So I agree with, okay, so we partially, I think we're meeting in the middle. At first I was like, no, I completely disagree. But then you kind of keep going on and on about at what point do you change? So my perspective on it is if you're dating someone, I remember when we first started dating, I knew that this was going somewhere. So if you're dating someone and they tell you, hey, you're spending too much time at work, I don't like it, you know, whatever the case is, they're I guess hinting that there's a problem with how much time you're spending at work, meaning your career is the priority over me, then I think you really seriously need to consider that. And the reason being, there is multiple ways to make money. But if you find somebody that you click with and you know that this is going to go somewhere, I would be hard pressed to give up that woman over money.
Well, I agree with you 100% because if you remember when you and I started dating, the type of work that I was doing and how we weren't getting to spend time together because I was working.
Because you're in real estate.
7 days a week. No, when I started, I was working 2 different
retail
jobs.
Yeah, you're working retail. But that's different because it's easy to walk away from retail. And that's more of a job than a career.
Right, absolutely. But at the time, it was like, well, that's what I was doing because that's how I was making easy money. And it was just powering through. And there was no other reason, you know, not to do that. And when you came in the picture, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I want more of a streamlined life so that we could spend more time together and, you know, build on us. So I was happy to make that change and that shift, and, you know, it was different. But again, I agree with you 1,000%. I knew when I was getting ready for our first date that if it went well, that we were going to be married. So and there wasn't anything that was going to come across my path that was going to deter me from you.
And then to your point, kind of too, when you were in real estate, you were working a lot, and we were just married. We were building our foundation as a married couple,
right? And
you were working a ton, specifically on the weekends. So when I was at work, you were at work. When I was home, you were at work.
Yes,
because the weekends is obviously the high time, the most busy time. People want to get off and go look at houses and do their business on the weekend.
Correct.
That created a huge thing for us. It created a lot of fights. It created some tension. It created some frustration because now I don't get to spend time with you.
Right.
We couldn't do anything. We didn't have any kids, so we wanted to go out and travel and do whatever. We couldn't because you had to be home for work.
Right.
So to me, that was not. It was not
conducive anymore to the relationship that we wanted.
Yeah. So we ended up making the decision for you to get out of real estate because you were doing well. And when you're doing well in real estate, you're super busy.
Right. I think the reason why it was so easy for us to make that decision was because we were married, and I trusted 1,000% that you were going to be there. You were going to have my back. Like, you weren't going anywhere. We were already a unit. We were already one.
Yeah.
So if you were my boyfriend and telling me, hey, this is too much, like, I don't get to see you. We say we want to spend a life together. We say we want to get married. We say we want to do these things. What's going to happen? How are we going to have kids if this is what our life is? If we were talking about those things with you, I would have absolutely changed courses. I probably would have stayed in the realm, but I probably would have switched gears and maybe taken more of a corporate position type role.
Yeah.
In the real estate avenue. And maybe worked some, took on one client a month or something like that to bring in that extra vacation cash. And that would have been it. But, I really think it depends on the seriousness of the relationship and the person that you're with. But overall, when you're starting out, when you're dating, when you're fresh out of college, when you're trying to get your career off the ground, I think you're going to kick yourself in the butt every time if you didn't focus on it.
Yeah. All right, a lot of good stuff. Sorry we had a bunch of interruptions today.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little messy, but
going to be a little choppy here and there, but that's life.
That is what it is. This is how we do it. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss anything.
And can I just give a little shout out to my brother who popped by to visit me yesterday? He was just totally in the area, right? He didn't even realize he was going to be down the street from our house. And he just said, I'm going to go over and visit my sis. And I just want to say that I love him for that. I thought that was so sweet for him to just not drive by and come over. We actually didn't get to hang out because we had people over. We were going over our
financial. Yeah.
We were going over the insurance info and stuff. So, we had a meeting going on, but, it just ties into what we were saying about, how life is short and you never know what's going to take place and what the next day is going to bring you. And it just really warmed my heart that he thought of us and loved us enough to make the effort to come by and say hi, even though I didn't let him in the house. I just want to let him know that I love him anyway, and everybody that was with him. So thank you, brother. I love you.
All right. Thanks, cuñado.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That's going to be it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for making us a part of your day.